Hey everybody, Brett from Senior Golf Source, and today what I'm going to talk about is the 3-wood. With equipment advances in the past 10 or so years, a lot of people have either had a love or hate relationship with fairway woods. I'm sure it goes way further back than that. I know a lot of golfers that I've instructed that showed up to me at their first lesson and had 0 fairway woods in their bag. I've also seen people in the opposite end of that spectrum where they had all hybrid irons and just a tonnage of fairway woods. So is it a good thing for your game? Is it a bad thing for your game? The answer is really going to be person to person, case by case. It really depends on your abilities. It's going to stem a lot from how you swing the club. So if you're more of a vertical swinger, meaning that you swing over the top more, there's probably a good chance that you're going to struggle with your fairway woods. If you are a flat plane swinger, so meaning that the club is more around the body and flat opposed to steep and upright, you're going to probably gear more towards hitting fairway woods. Fairway woods are probably going to be one of your favorite clubs to hit, as far as what I've seen. And your path really can dictate how successful you are with fairway woods. But specifically today, I was talking about 3-woods. 3-woods from manufacturer to manufacturer can vary in loft. They can most certainly vary in length, and they can vary in the type of graphite shafts that they're using in their clubs. So if we're looking at, the traditional 3-wood, the number that resonates in my head for a 3-wood is roughly 15 degrees of loft. That's kind of like the industry standard for a 3-wood. There are some companies that make a lower lofted 3-wood, 13.5 degrees and lower. They're built specifically for certain players. Specifically for me, I do play a 3-wood. However, I opted for a higher launch 3-wood. The shaft that I do play is a relatively mid-launching shaft. So I prefer getting that ball up in the air. I want my longer shots kind of landing soft. So if I'm hitting into a par 5, I don't want this low missile to come into the green and just kind of run right through it. I want to take advantage of being able to control what my ball does when it lands. So the beauty in technology in these past 10 or so years is the ability to adjust. There are so many manufacturers. You've got Callaway, you've got TaylorMade. Ping tends to be one of the brands that a lot of players that maybe have limitations in mobility kind of gear towards. Ping even makes a 4-wood, which I found was pretty cool. So if we're having the ability to adjust our loft to help cater to how we swing the club, you can even in some cases adjust the lie angle, so you can bring the club more upright. You can bring it a little bit more flat just by simply adjusting in the hosel. So if 3-woods have been kind of your nemesis, or fairways in general have been your nemesis, check out what's on the market right now. I'm not telling you to go buy it, but find a place maybe that has a demo day. And look for companies like Ping, companies like TaylorMade. Titleist is another good one. Look for those companies and see if there's a demo day nearby where you can have a professional eye on what you're doing to help dial in the right club build for you. It's definitely not going to hurt anything. The worst thing you did is you went to a driving range and hit some golf balls. So in my book, if you didn't find something that you liked, it's still a check mark for a good visit. So, take that time. Don't just go out there and buy it because you think it's going to work for you. Do something that has a little bit more structure and education behind it, opposed to just buying the latest and greatest. So when we're looking at the fairway woods in particular, and let's say that you elected to go to that demo day, pay attention to these three factors. I want you to pay attention to the loft of the head. Is it adjustable or not? I want you to pay attention to, does it have the ability to open or close the loft of the toe of the club? So maybe for you slicers, there might be an option where the face sets up a little bit more shut. And then maybe for the people that hook the ball, or the better players out there, we kind of tend towards like looking at a club face that's slightly more open. And there's also clubs out there that have channel weights in them that help you manipulate the functionality of the club as it comes through impact. So that's kind of the factor one, is the club face, can I manipulate it to help conform to what's going on with my swing? The second factor that we're going to look at is the shaft. For those players out there that maybe struggle with club head speed, you're going to want to look and see ultra lightweight shafts. Again, I've mentioned it before, Ping, they do an exceptional job with lightweight shafts, and they also incorporate a lot of torque in most of their lightweight shafts, which helps with forgiveness. So that's the second factor. The third factor is make sure you're playing a club that's the proper length. When you're out there at that demo day, when you're out there hitting balls, maybe perhaps choke up a little bit. Talk to the person that's fitting you and get suggestions on the length of the club. It's not just this raw static length that you measure, knuckles to the floor, and that's the club that you have to get. You need to get out there and play around with different lengths and shafts. Historically, I've had a lot of success with my golfers that struggle with consistency in striking the ball by simply shortening things up. It's a very simple concept, but the further you get away from the ball, the lesser the chances that you're going to make consistent contact in that same spot. And the beauty in technology nowadays, they can make up for that shortening by balancing the club out, making sure you get the right swing weight. So factor one, make sure you get a head that has the ability to adjust, that can conform to what you're doing. Secondly, make sure you're getting the right shaft composition, making sure the gram weight is proper, making sure that the flex is proper, and the kick point also. And then the third, the big ticket item to make sure that you're striking the ball well with the fairway woods, make sure that the length is proper. Don't play this ungodly long club that's just, it looks pretty, it feels great in your practice swings, and then you put a ball in front of you and it's just a struggle fest. So I hope you can take this to heart and don't shut out those three woods, because they are useful. Just a quick story in the history for me. When I got into the PGA of America, I had to pass a playing ability test. It was 36 holes in one day, and the course was set up relatively easy. It wasn't a very long course. The pins were, centered to the flag, but I still had to shoot a target score. I took the driver, gave it to my wife, told her, I said, the course is short enough, just lock it up, put it in the closet, you keep the key, don't give it back to me. And if it hadn't have been for my 3-wood that day, I'm not sure that I would have done what I did. It was very consistent off the tee. They are definitely an asset to your game. So don't shut them out just because you've struggled in the past. Do some research, get out there and hit some things, try different manufacturers, try different lofts, shaft lengths and shaft flexes. And you might just find that it was kind of like the missing gem that you needed in your bag to help you with getting to the green. So thanks again. I hope this resonates with somebody out there and makes one person that much better at golf. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you soon.